this year being Chinese Year of the Dragon, I came up with a design for the Chinese New Year festival that I'm really excited to share with you. I'm going to be sharing with you two ways to do this design. One of them was the one I actually did at the festival, so they had requested just 5 designs, and amongst what I was offering was not only the dragon, but there was also the rabbit for the Lunar New Year of the rabbit. So for the event I was asked just to keep it to 5 designs to help minimize the amount of time a child might be waiting for a balloon, but given this year is Year of the Dragon, I knew I had to incorporate a dragon, so I had to come up with something quick and cute that would be perfect to create for the event. I also did a rabbit as it's the Year of the Rabbit, but also just a couple of other crowd favorites, including the dog sword and a love heart wand. It could have been fun having a design for each of the different animals to be represented, but given they only needed 5 designs, I definitely knew I had to have the dragon and the rabbit. So here's the 2 designs I'm going to be sharing with you today. This smaller dragon is the one that I was creating at the event, and it is made with 160 balloons, and here is a 260 version of the design that I came up with just after the event, and I'll talk you through how I created that one as well. This one uses just the one 160, whereas we have 2 260 balloons used within this design, plus an additional one for the whiskers, and then we have another round balloon for the eyes. I don't know what it is about them, but they just really make me smile, and I hope you enjoy them too. Let's get started with the first one, the 160 dragon. You might remember back in this video, I was given a large box of balloons by my friend Stacy, and amongst them was one of these bags of 160 in the gold, so that was perfect, which I brought along to the event to create these dragons with. I'm going to start off by inflating the 160 all the way and releasing all the air, and then doing what we need to do to get that balloon curled. To help stretch out the balloon as well, I'm just inflating it as far as it will go, and I can really feel if I kept inflating that it's going to burst. Let's not do that. So I do find with the metallic balloons that you get a bit of additional length in them as well, especially when you inflate and deflate them. If you'd love a better look at how I twist balloons, make sure to check out the video linked here, and you can see it broken down step by step. I'm going to ensure that there is a little bit left uninflated so we can twist it as well. Only a small amount is uninflated, but I'm going to just let out some air. So I have about an inch of uninflated, which is 2.5 centimeters. We're going to do 2 loop twists. One is 2 to 3 fingers wide, maybe 2.5 fingers, and I'm just locking that through. So the second one is just a little bit larger than the first, just to help distinguish between the top and the lower jaw. And then 2 small bubbles are going to get pinch twisted. 1, 2. So those are going to become the cheeks. We'll come back to that in a short while. So the next length of balloon is going to be for the neck, and I'm going to just do 2 loop twists, one for the front legs and one for the back legs. It's about 4 to 5 fingers wide there. One here, leaving a length for the tummy, and then second one, we're actually just leaving those as loops until this particular point where we're going to squish and twist. Two separate front legs, and then we're repeating the same for the back. Squish and twist. By doing all the twists in the design, it has lost a lot of that spiral, but what I love that it has left behind is that really subtle kind of curve in there. But then we can really enhance that for the design by squishing and helping reform that. I find that really helps to give some more character. I love the suggestion of playfulness that it brings into the design. But yeah, it is looking very playful so far. Inflate your round balloon, and we're just going to tie it off and twist it in 2. So we've got 2, and we're just going to introduce that into the head of the design. So just making sure that the larger petal twist is the upper jaw, and then we have the smaller one as the lower jaw. and those pinch twists are just sitting on either side there. Just look a bit like cheeks. This next bit only needs just a puff of air in it. That balloon is nice and got a bit of puff. And I like to put a knot on both ends just for balance, but that's just me. And if you've got the time, you can go ahead to chop those ends off as well. But I just like having that kind of balance in the design. We're just going to find the midpoint and introduce that into the design. Taking your marker for the eyes. If I'm being honest, I think drawing the eyes is the hardest part of this design, but I do like to have the black part of the pupil all coloured in and then just a couple of loops around that to suggest the eyes. And there we have our very cute, playful little dragon. When I was making it at the event, one of the children said it reminded them of Mushu, the little dragon from Milan, and I think I see it. I really think it's a nice, cute and quick dragon. But let's go ahead and have a look at that other version. I'm going to start off by doing the lower jaw. Followed by 2 pinch twists. Go ahead to do the upper jaw. So the difference between the two is only very slight, as you can see. And we're going to do 3 1-inch bubbles. Pinch twist these bubbles. So we've got 1 in the lower jaw and 2 in the upper area. I'm going to go ahead to do the neck. For the leg, we are going to have approximately 2.5 3-finger bubble, followed by 3 smaller ones, which are not quite an inch, but hopefully what we're going to end up with is just one of the front legs. And we're going to start off the next balloon by doing the second front leg. But for now, we are going to pinch twist those 3 bubbles. And then just positioning those side by side. So this is what we have so far. It looks a bit interesting, doesn't it? To say the least, but we have our lower jaw, our upper jaw, 2 pinch twists and length of balloon for the neck, and our first leg. So let's go ahead to do the second balloon. Like before, we don't want to be inflating this one all the way because we are going to want to get a few extra twists in there. So I've left it at about 5 centimeters of uninflated. Now the thing I should point out here is I am only planning to do one more front leg in the same way as I did for the last one, but for the back legs I'm just going to do the simple pedal technique. I haven't decided which way I actually prefer, that is 3 pinch twists or just a simple loop twist, but my husband did like this one, so you know, I thought I'd go ahead to show you both ways and maybe you can decide which way you'd like to do it. The only thing I think though is we would need an extra balloon to get all the detail in there. Anyway, with this we are going to start off by trying to replicate this part of the design we did back here. So just referencing the original one to get the same kind of sizing. And honestly, I think it can be tricky pinch twisting in a row. So if it does take you a couple of tries to give it a go, then be kind to yourself, you'll be just fine. positioning the neck in between these front legs. So I'm just judging with the loops that I have left where I think the back legs need to go. Yeah, I think there looks pretty good. Just going to twist that in. So we've got the pedal and just squishing it in and twist. One of the biggest challenges with the design is to get it to sit just where you think it needs to be. But try not to spend too much time on it. Oh. And you can go ahead and encourage some shaping back into the balloon. What I'm doing here is just making an S shape with the dragon and squishing the air backwards and forwards in that bend, recoiling the balloon a bit, and I'm just squishing that air back and forwards to help try and shape it. And even with the neck, it could use a bit of shaping, I think, so I'm just going to bend it and squish it a bit. I think that's pretty cool. But let's get those eyes in. Because the 260s are a bit larger, I've just made the eyeballs a bit bigger than I did for the 160 design. Starting to lose one of the cheeks, oh well. Since I've lost one of those bubbles, I'm just going to position the pinch twist at the back of the head, but normally I would try to have one on each side. What I think can be really nice as well is using a different colour for the whiskers, although it does look really great when it's all together as well. Cool. Alright, let's add that last balloon. Making sure there really is only a puff of air in there, because when we do tie it off, or when I've tied it off before, I have noticed a bit of a bulge occurring in the latex, and I really don't like that. Really hard to control once it's in there. And there's the finished dragon design. What he is real cute, I think. Why don't you let me know in the comments below which of the legs you prefer? Is it with the pinch twist in it, or do you like the simplicity of the loop twist? So there we had the two designs. Why don't you let me know which is your favorite in the comments below? Oh, that is it for this video, and thank you for helping me to put a positive twist into your life, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye!